This episode of Ultimate Counter Guide is brought to you by MST.TV. Check out our latest drop of the soft fiber version of our tournament playmat with a very limited quantity. You guys are going to get your hands on this one real quick. And don't forget to check out all the other sleeve options available at MST.TV. Thank you guys for checking out. Thank you Patreons for supporting the channel. And let's begin. Hey guys, this is Tom Box and welcome back. And guess who's still with us?
We got Pack here. I got myself.
Yep. We got you, of course. Yep. One of the best players in the game right now. And still doing really well. Of course, congratulations on your recent top. I forgot to say that in the previous video.
Yep.
But DDD, you and the spice, man. You and the spice. But anyways.
But man, today we're going to have a video dedicated for all the go first side deck cards that you guys are probably, including into your strategies.
Yeah.
I think this one will go actually a lot quicker because a lot of this stuff is like pretty straightforward, because usually these side deck cards that we're covering are very powerful. But they only really work when you're going first or when you're going second.
Yep. And it's something I kind of want to talk about again. Of course, if you haven't watched the first video, if you look across the top, it's a little bit different this time in this Ultimate Counter Guide because we are not talking about specific decks. We're talking about engines because every deck kind of looks the same. It's adventure this, adventure that. Maybe some people shoved in the Punk package. Maybe there's a Scythe DPE in there. And that's why we're talking about it. And Halc is such a big part of it too, so we're going to specifically cover that as well. So it might look a little bit different, but trust me, this is the only way we're going to cover this because it's in the entire checklist would look all checks, and we will just be trying to, we're trying to get a little bit more microscopic in terms of our interaction here, specific towards specific things that are happening. Okay, that being said, make sure you guys check out the link in the description. Go watch Pack on his stream if you guys want to listen to the brains of this operation. Of course, Pack is one of the players that will vocally put out his thoughts out there so you guys can hear it, and that's why it is amazing to watch him on stream. So don't forget to go follow him on Twitch. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, and he even previewed a little bit of your next one of your upcoming videos in the previous video. Yeah. So you guys definitely don't want to miss that. It's about how to hand trap, and aside from knowing which hand trap to use, how to use them is probably more important. That's why you guys watch these videos, because we're teaching you how to use them. But what if you don't know the matchup? He's gonna have something for you guys. Setting you up for the next vid. Okay.
Now I'm pressured to make a video.
Take your time. They're gonna subscribe over to your side. Okay, so today we're gonna be covering the go first, as Pack has just mentioned, and on top of that, if we are lucky, if we go fast enough, and I stop wasting your time here with this long ass intro, we're going to maybe cover the go second. If not, it'll be split into a separate video. Okay. That being said, across the top are matchups, or not a matchup, or engines that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be adventure, we have punk stuff, we have DPE and Scythe, because it's going to be including everything within the series of events that lead to those cards. And we have Halqifibrax, Rose, or Mecha Phantom Beast, or Aurodon. And the only thing that's truly a solo matchup here is going to be Sword Soul. And as for the cards that we're going to be talking about for going first, some of these are most popular. Some of these are questions that you guys thought was going to be good. So we're going to be looking at, the Solemn Brigade, the Solemn set. We have Anti-Spell Fragrance because there's no longer any more Imperial Order. We have Rivalry and Gozen. We have Skill Drain because now it's at 3. And we have Summon Limit, and to some degree, people have been playing Crossout Designator. It's mainly because there's a lot of overlap in people's decks, and Crossout Designator kind of became this negate all. And it does give you a little bit of free play at the sacrifice of you yourself not playing that same card. Okay. Intro's done, because we'll get started. So we're going to go down each column. That's how we're going to go. So Solemn set. Okay, go ahead, Pack. I'm going to...
I think we can all agree that Solemns usually when you go first are really, really good. Into the Brave engine specifically, they're actually not that amazing. You don't really want to judgment a Rise of Aramasia, because if they have a second one, you're usually gonna die to it. So I would, and then Solemn Strike on the Enchantress is okay though, but it's a really tough call.
Yeah, Enchantress.
Yep. like the adventure cards are very good at pushing through back row. And strike and judgment are definitely included in those lists.
Yep. Anti-spell fragrance. I think this one's just gonna I'm just gonna put this here. It's just a check. Guys, just don't let them activate that spell card. It's going to be really one-sided. Next, we have this is a kind of a fun one here. We have a Floodgate that we haven't seen in a long time. I guess like the people that played it the most, I think either zombie decks or water decks. It's Rivalry goes in. Yeah, and Madolche goes in
like pure like attribute decks, so like Solemn gates, like all the roguish strategies in the meta will typically try to use them. One meta deck that actually could play these Floodgates are like Dragon Link. Dragon Link's a pretty common one. DDDs is also another deck they can use goes in match, right? Because they only have one attribute. But it's a very, very good card into the Brave Engine, obviously. The token is, if you guys are not familiar, is an Earth Fairy. The Griffin is a wind beast. The Enchantress is a water spellcaster. So
they don't play well into either.
All different YouTube. What?
Yeah, they don't play good into either Rivalry or goes
into either. Yep, into either.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Skill drain, I'm gonna put immediately. I'm just gonna put an X here.
Yeah, Floodgates are very not like they're not amazing into the adventure engine.
Yeah.
Even like the rivalry and goes in's kind of weird because it's like I mean like the thing is if they can get access to Draco back, it's not it's like they still have outs, so
yeah, it's not gonna hold them forever. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they can normal summon, you're gonna have a bit of a problem. Don't try to try to counterplay that part. It's not worth it. Like, oh, what if you get rid of the Draco back? It's not gonna be worth it in the long run. Okay, if you have the Floodgates, maybe, but why are you siding into this? Like, you're siding for one interaction. I think you need better coverage overall rather than one specific interaction. So Draco back is just let them have that Draco back. Let them do the bounce, and that's why we don't see Mystic Mine in the format. It doesn't work. Right. It doesn't work very well. Summon limit kind of hitting the same scenario here because the adventure token immediately gets to get the 2 summons, and therefore they get the Draco back gets the bounce. If you have double Floodgate, it's kind of like hand trap. It's kind of weird because if you have double Floodgate, then yes, it is very effective because you do cut off a lot of things. But just bear in mind that Draco back is still on the board and it's ready to clear. And clearing Draco back isn't exactly the easiest thing either. You either have Cosmic or you need 2 ways to pop it. It's hard.
Yeah, you need 2 ways to punch it. Yeah, it's not the easiest. Yeah.
Crossout Designator. If you're gonna be going first, it's.
I think it's So I mean, you have to also play the engine in your deck. So that's it's not bad, but like it's always gonna be good when you go first. I think into the adventure just because you can always cross out their rights and it negates the effect. So I think it's pretty okay, but you have to also play that engine yourself. That's like a big obvious, right? So
it's kind of like it's like a counterplay choice where if you're choosing to do it, finally I get to use this icon. I haven't used this icon forever. The counterplay icon. Because, you can stop all forms of hand traps as well. And because you can stop anything that would stop you from doing it, why would you not play it? And because there's so much, and there's a reason for this. There's just a lot of overlap right now on a lot of decks. When we looked at Pauly's list, he main decked 3 of these.
He main decked 3, yeah.
And I tried it out in the past weekend to give you guys a little bit of a just direct experience with the card. It is something I almost forgot about because I haven't been playing with this card for a while. And to kind of give you an example is that my opponent attempted to nib me, and then I just activated Crossout Designator and got rid of my own nib, and then I just built the board anyway. He was ready for my Griffin because he had an effect Veiler. He was holding the Veiler for the Griffin. And then he was gonna go Veiler do that, but then he ended up just eating my whole play because Crossout just took it away. And you can even Crossout. I did a funny Crossout Designator play because I knew my opponent played Magician's Soul, and we both played Illusion of Chaos. So when he activated Illusion of Chaos, I'm like, I think he's just gonna go for Soul. So I'm gonna wait till he ditches his cards, and then I'm just gonna not give him the draw. So I essentially used it like an Ash. I was like, you know what? That's kind of funny. You know, it's gonna work. I can't stop the extra deck.
Another way to like outplay is like if your opponent if your opponent goes nib, and you think they have the Veiler, you go chain Griffin, right? Then they chain Veiler, then you chain Crossout Call Dib, so they go -2, and then the Griffin stays on the board. Because he got negated. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun things you can do with the card.
Yeah. It's absurd.
Yeah. So P.U.N.K package, back to the Solemn set. I think we just...
It's very good. I think it's very good actually, because like it's like Gamma on P.U.N.K, right? And if we say Gamma is good on the P.U.N.K, then I would say it's really good here as well.
Yeah, you can hit the Halq.
Halq.
Yeah.
And mean.
Yeah. Even. And I don't know any special summons.
Yeah, it's a really good card. I mean, like, I think usually if you're going first and they're going second with P.U.N.K cards, you just don't really do it on the normal. I think you always do it on the Halq.
They don't do anything because if their only spell that they're going to launch at you is going to be an E-Telly, and
it's gonna be teleport. Yeah,
you're not going to stop that. It's not going to be worth it in overall. Gozen, it's pretty good. I would say they can't really go into anything. Zeamon's an Earth, and if you're trying to go into the Griffin, then I don't think that works because Griffin's a wind. So yeah, no, this is good. And if you're trying to go to Halq, it's water.
I think it's like, so like Rivalry and Gozen are cards that are good mainly because it doesn't, like, I don't think the card is good into pure P.U.N.Ks, but it's like these cards are really good because every deck is playing multiple engines and they're all different attribute, different types. So that's why, like, it's almost always that you're gonna find Rivalry and Gozen being good because no decks are playing like that pure strategy of, you know, I mean, Sword Soul is an exception, for example, but
they have multiple attributes because
yes, they do.
Their deck is naturally built that way.
Yep, and multiple types with, like, you know, trying to make other stuff.
Skill Drain versus P.U.N.K. Yeah, it's great. It stops everything that follows up with it. They don't really have any searches. It cuts off a lot. But if they open with Foxy Tune, yeah, they still get double tuner, but that doesn't do anything. They're under Skill Drain. Summon Limit.
Same thing.
It's good. Yeah, these are good. yeah. It's like this is not like the Adventure Token package where they get an auto out for everything, and yeah, it hurts. Floodgates hurt, but the thing that prevents it and the thing that's most popular, you got to remember across the board here, probably the most popular engine here is going to be Adventure, and the second most popular is going to be like I guess these two, because it's the most popular. If it's an X here, it's not going to be the most effective overall in a lot of matchups. Crossout Designator versus P.U.N.K. I don't know if there's any point to this.
Pretty bad. I mean, unless you play P.U.N.K cards yourself, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. It's a hard call for this one. DPE and Scythe.
Well,
yeah. Let's just get.
I mean, like, it's the same thing as Gamma. Like, it's gonna be good. Yeah. Because you can strike, like, you know, DP's Affecting the Grave, strike Anaconda. So I would say.
Would you actually strike DPE's Affecting the Grave? It's kind of risky. There's a scenario, of course, the scenario being that if you have Scythe on, you have DP on board, and they have the you have the strike. They're striking DPE. It's hard because what if they accidentally hit your back row?
I mean, you can't gamble it, right? Because if you strike it, the next
doesn't
time
work.
I face,
it doesn't work.
It comes back and it trades the 1 for 2 anyways. So I mean, like, if you go first and all they play is Fusion Destiny, don't get me wrong, that's like really, really awful. Like, for you have to just pray they don't hit strike. So in that essence, it's not an amazing card. But yeah.
Pray that they, you know, they're bad at rolling a die. Anti-spell fragrance. Depending on the path, I mean, this one does stop one thing though, which is direct Fusion Destiny. This is the only thing that it stuns, and it only.
Yeah, it's just direct.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah. I would say that's it.
Yeah, like if they can still make it. Of course, don't get me wrong. They can still do it. It's just like if that's their opening play. There's other things that it stops, which is why anti-spell fragrance is so good. It's because the stuff that leads to building DP and Scythe is still going to be affected by the anti-spell fragrance. So that's why it's still decent. But if you're going to talk about direct interaction, it's going to be the Fusion Destiny. Gozen, I think no, I don't think these cards are good. No, because you grind with DP, right? You just like pop every turn. If there's a DP established, Yeah.
Rivalry Gozen isn't really that good. It's only good if, I mean, if they activate, like Gozen's bad.
If you're going first, if you're going
if they have
first,
Anaconda.
if you're going first and you try to stop the play, then it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like yellow.
Yeah, it's kind of yellow.
Because the issue is like these cards have to be like paired with other cards engine wise, but purely strictly talking about just these cards in the DP, it's not that good.
Yeah. Okay. Skill drain.
Pretty good.
Skill drain is good. You don't let the Anaconda stuff go through, and if it's already live, that DPE, sure, DPE is always gonna come back because of the grave trigger.
Yep.
But at least you're not negging one.
You can't pop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't pop it.
Yeah, you're not negging one once per turn. Summon limit's pretty good. You can actually prevent this whole cycle from even happening, except for the case of Fusion Destiny. In which case, you probably wouldn't even have the summon limit flipped up yet.
Yep.
Would you flip it face up by then? You probably wouldn't. But yeah, this
summon
is...
limit, it should always almost be like a really broken go first card. Like it should always be
go
like
first.
crazy good.
It's not bad. If you have to activate it later on, it starts to lose its momentum.
Yep.
Like it won't be able to hold your opponent's momentum back, I should say.
Yep.
Crossout Designator, it's good. You can take out Scythe. It's one of the weirder ways to negate Scythe. You're just
I would agree with that. Like it's like you can negate Scythe or you can negate like Fusion Destiny. But other than that, it's like very average.
It will give you a chance to play.
Yeah. I mean, if you play Celestial or Dasher, you can negate those, I guess, technically. And if you didn't get it, you make your own DP, but I doubt it.
At least there's something you can do with the card. That's I guess that's what we're going towards. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Halc stuff, yeah, it's great. You get to shut down the entire play.
Amazing, yeah.
It's so good. Anti-spell fragrance, it kind of does nothing. Anything to lead to the setup, I don't think it really does anything because it's really easy to just spit out 2 tuners. If you go into Adhara and drop another monster, that's good. If you go to Zeaman, you go to Foxy Tune, you get 2 tuners. You don't do anything about that in particular.
Yep.
Gozen match versus the Halq play, I think it's all right.
Oh my, I think it's really good for Gozen, yeah.
Yeah, if they're trying to go to Red Rose, like if they go first, drop 2 matching tuners, 2 psychic tuners, they go into, I mean, are you going to flip Gozen on them right away? Or are you going to flip Rivalry? Probably not. At this point, it's kind of weird, but when they go into Halq, that's when you drop it on them. It's hard for them to choose like a specific target. They can, if they go Rivalry, they're going to summon out Auroradon. They're forced to go into the Auroradon line. No Rose play. But if you see the token and all the other stuff already available and you have another hand trap, then you have a hand trap. Well, you probably wouldn't have a hand trap because you're going first. Really iffy here. Scenario-wise, it's good if it goes off because it doesn't let them play. Otherwise, there's a lot of scenarios that I don't really want to get into right now, which could lead to an awkward interaction where they build a minuscule board, but you will have the Gozen up. If there is that possibility. Oh no, skill drain. Skill drain's great.
Skill drain. Skill drain.
Summon limit. Skill drain is always gonna be good. Summon limit is gonna cut them off before they even get to the Halq. This, I don't even think you need this. What's the point of like a Crossout Designator if they get to Halq?
No, it's not good.
I think it's too situational in this particular case, because you don't know which line they're going into, and you can't even hit the Halq. That's the sad part.
Yep. Yeah,
and I'm just gonna put an X right here for Crossout Designator here because there's almost like no way that you're matching up. I don't think Swordsoul's gonna decide it.
It has to be the mirror match. Yeah, it's only good in the mirror. I think Strike and Judgment are really good to Sword Soul. Like it's very, very powerful.
Oh yes. The synchro play.
I think Antispell is very average. It could be good. It's like high roll. If you high roll it, it's good if they open a lot of spells. If they don't if they open all monsters. So
iffy. It's
iffy. Rivalry goes in. It's very powerful. That's a pretty good hit. The only way they play through it is Moye plus Vishuda hard drawn or some version of that. So not a lot outs.
That is really hard to get out. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, they need 2 waters, but they can't link into They can't link into Monk because unless it's Adhara. They have Adhara Vishuda. So they have outs, very situational. If they have it at that point, they have it.
Yeah, most time it's like really good to be honest. So I like it. And then Rivalry, like it's okay. It can be like decent if they go for the help line. So
Yeah. Yeah, Sword Soul, just remember, a lot of the people that are playing Sword Soul, guys, is that they are playing with 10 Yi package and they're playing 10 Yi Halq, because without Protos, going straight into an Emergence doesn't have the same ring to it, and not as many people are playing a Heavenly Dragon Circle, so that's going to be a bit of the drawback. All right?
Yep.
Skill Drain.
Good. Like, only if they have a shooter. Most of the time, it's actually, to be honest, like they have to have a shooter.
Yeah.
Have a 10-yi. So
yeah.
Like if they sort of like normal, if you're going first and they go normal Mo and you skill drain, that is GG. And like the thing is, if they go with shooter first, they have to blind hit the skill drain because you're not flipping it, right? So
yeah, just beware of a shooter.
Yep.
It's good. Just they can have an out. They can force it out because of Vessel. So just be careful about that. Vessel will be their strong follow up. So. And that's the one that they can actually wait for you. Someone's cracked crazy against this. I'm like, they need a synchro. Crazy. It's very hard. If they go into, again, it's like Vishuda. That's why like Kitchen Sink plays Vishuda. Just beware of Vishuda. Vishuda is like one of the free clears. Vishuda is also like the out against Winda half the time. So if it works against Winda, it works against your summon limit. Wow, we actually covered this one within 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
But you know what?
This is pretty straightforward. Most of these go first cards are really broken.
Yeah, if you're gonna be going first and you're gonna be siding in these cards, you might as well side in the stuff that gives you the biggest chance of a blowout win, right?
Yeah.
And that's really, these are some of the more popular. Do you have any other choices that you would actually kind of recommend to people?
For going first specifically, not really. I think like most of these decks don't need go first cards because the board they established are so powerful already, and it doesn't really need a lot of backing. I think most of the times you require go first cards like Judgments, Anti-Spell, all that stuff is mainly because the boards are very susceptible to like certain types of like blowouts. So you kind of need like, you know, something to substantiate your board. So like for example, Anti-Spell are like notably used for like kind of stopping the blowout power spells that comes in games 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
So you kind of need them, but it's so crazy. A lot of these decks now are building boards with so many Omnis that, and you can't get dropleted because of Herald, that it doesn't matter how many they have.
Oh yeah. So
like they don't need to side go first cards. They just have to side cards that let their combo resolve.
Yeah.
So
it is that kind of format, unfortunately.
That's the Yu-Gi-Oh we're playing.
This is the I think I can dub this as the Scythe format. This is the Scythe adventure format, because every deck somehow has some access to adventure or Scythe. Yeah,
I agree.
All right, okay, that's it for this video, guys. We got another part 3 coming up about the stuff to go second. I mean, you just won the game 1. You're kind of forced to go second. You gotta max out your win chances, and that's gonna be in the next video. And Pack is gonna, of course, join us for that one as well. Yeah. So, guys, do me a favor. Don't forget to check out Pack's channel. Check out his Twitch stream. Yep. Check out his YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit this channel subscribe button as well if you guys want to see the final part, which is the go second cards. And you know, first of all, I want to thank you, Pack, for taking your time to do this. It's been something that we've been waiting to do for a while, and we're getting that chance, and we're gonna share it with you guys. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and you know what? I'll see you guys in the next part.
Yeah, better see you guys subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys. Peace.